This shows how much the U.S. believes our own bullshit and how much we care about whether someone's a terrorist or not a terrorist, because it's all just political gamesmanship for whatever the U.S. war machine wants. An ex-ISIS chief has been appointed as a commander of a U.S.-backed militia in Syria. So as most of you know,
a game of solitaire.
It's totally a game of solitaire. So as most of you know, the U.S. still, quote unquote, owns, their words, a third of Syria, mainly the area where the oil and wheat is. There are many militias that the U.S. helps fund over there. Sometimes these are terrorist organizations like al-Nusra, which is an al-Qaeda offshoot. We've funded and armed them. In this case, you have a ex-ISIS. You know, we're supposed to be fighting ISIS over there, right? The Syria Free Army, a U.S.-backed militant group being trained inside Washington's Al-Tanf base in eastern Syria, appointed a former ISIS chief as their commander. Today, the Syrian Free Army conducted a change of command and welcomed a new commander of the SFA. We thank Colonel Farid Al-Qassem for 16 months of dedicated service in the SFA, the local community, and the 55-kilometer area.
Yeah, like he's a community organizer now.
He's a community organizer. He's been bringing groceries to people. He's part of the ISIS grocery brigade.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if you know them. But this just goes to show how the U.S., the whole ISIS thing was, I'm not saying ISIS isn't horrible, but the idea that the U.S. just wants to fight ISIS, it's all bullshit. It was designed, we helped create them, then we fight them, but part of it's because we need infinite war, because it's great for our economy. We need to keep funding all the weapons contracts, military-industrial complex, but also because all these things are useful for propaganda and they're useful for destroying societies that we find in one way or another threatening. Syria, Iraq, Libya, Yemen. They threaten the petrodollar. They threaten the U.S. economic machinations around the world. And so we fund and arm these people. I remember a few years ago, there was an article about how CIA armed and trained group was fighting a Pentagon armed and trained group. And we were like, oh, drats. But the truth is, we're creating war around the world because two reasons, really. One is instability is good. The only countries that actually threaten U.S. hegemony are those who are not unstable, the big and not unstable. Russia and China are the two biggest ones. But
wasn't that a conversation that, was it Lockheed Martin or basically like when Obama signed the Iran nuclear deal, they had like an emergency call to their board that was like, don't worry, it's going to be unstable in the region for a long time.
Right. Telling the board not to worry about our stock. Our stock will be okay. It's a very unstable region anyway.
And we're going to make sure it stays unstable. So everyone just calm down.
And I can't remember Lockheed Martin or one of the others that said in a investor call that was supposed to remain private but went public, that the conflict in Gaza was really good for things, really good for money to come in, because we'll be shipping more bombs and missiles to Israel. So that's a good moneymaker there.
There is a very simple equation. When something good happens, stocks go down. When something bad happens, stocks go up.
For military industrial complex, yeah.